The Millie Wright Children's Charity was founded in 2022 by Nigel and Millie Wright after Millie, their daughter, lost her fight against a liver disease and rare blood disorder. During their 5-month stay in hospital with their critically ill daughter, Nigel and Millie experienced firsthand how some medical conditions are supported by dedicated charities, whereas others are not. The Millie Wright Children's Charity exists to address these inequalities for families caring for children with life-threatening conditions in hospital so that all have access to family support. Nigel and Millie have drawn on their own experiences to provide practical and emotional support to those in a similar situation.
When you have a child with a life-threatening diagnosis, the challenges are the same regardless. They can be practical, financial, or emotional well-being. We found pockets of areas within the hospital where families were supported by charities and they receive fantastic charitable support. We want to enable all families with a child with a life-threatening diagnosis to receive that same fantastic support.
We're looking at needs that we had when we were specifically in hospital for that length of time, which include feeding the parents. So many people don't realise that when you're in hospital looking after a critically ill child, that you as a parent don't get fed, meaning that you have to leave your child's bedside, that you have to spend money on food, and that your access to food is quite limited whilst you're there on the ward. So one of our initiatives is Feed the Parents, which involves delivery of Saturday suppers on a Saturday night, and it also enables us to stock parents' kitchens across the hospital.
You enjoy, nice to see you.
Based at Leeds Children's Hospital, the charity provides family support to parents at a time when their own personal well-being inevitably becomes a lower priority. The service the charity now provides has become a lifeline, complementing the care that the wonderful NHS staff give to the patients themselves.
Back in Easter this year, my son was just out of the blue admitted for 2 weeks actually into Ward 50, and I guess our world kind of fell apart, and I think you just don't really take care of yourself. Across from the ward there's a little room that says like parents room on it, and you can go in there just for like a little break, and when I went in there was all these signs about Millie, and then there were like food and drink and just help yourself, and just it was just such a nice gesture in such an awful moment. It came to my rescue many times.
Yeah, just and things up as well.
I think beforehand it was a clear need really, and it's nice to see that families are getting like that extra support that we would love to be able to provide, but obviously due to funding and everything else that we can't, so it's nice to kind of work together and be part of that journey.
The charity provides practical support. They provide things like personal products, so when you've been admitted straight off of the back of a clinic, you can go onto the ward and think, it's okay, I don't have a toothbrush, but I don't need to worry about that because somebody's already worried about it. They fund the play team on a weekend, they fund the play team throughout the year. They provide things like birthday boxes, toys, things like that, that people think, well, how does that help parents? How it helps parents is if the play team are available, they afford you the opportunity to go and have a shower and to go and make a cup of tea, or to take 5 minutes and just go and digest what's been said to you. And I think that's one of the biggest things that the charity does for us.
These services couldn't be provided without the help of an army of dedicated volunteers who are able to make a real difference to the lives of affected families.
It means a lot more than people think. Just seeing how a parent can smile when their child is so poorly from a one meal is just heartwarming.
Yeah, and to see the fight that Nigel and Millie do in the hospital to help the parents and to be able to look out for them and provide even more and support is just amazing. Millie and Nigel have really made a difference with this charity.
We're fortunate to have expanded our volunteer base recently and have got a wide range of skills within that volunteer base. We rely on our volunteers 100% to come with us and deliver when we go to the hospital and when we're involved in other charitable activities.
Go on, Bill!
For funding, the charity relies on donations and fundraising from supporters around the country, with over £100,000 raised in the last year.
So we have amazing supporters that have put on amazing events throughout the UK, from Glasgow down to Cornwall, from running marathons to skydiving to bingo nights. In addition to this, the Millie Wright Children's Charity have 2 annual events. We have our Winter Ball, which last year raised over £20,000. And we also have our Millie Run in May, which remembers Millie on what would be her birthday, and is a huge community event with a 5k and a 10k, bringing in just under another £10,000.
He's got less than half a kilometre left to go. So he's done 120.5 kilometres at this point.
My husband did a sponsored walk this year and was able to raise quite a significant amount of money for the charity, which I believe some of that funding has gone to support a family support worker, and that's massive. You're thrown into this situation as a medical parent that nobody wants to be thrown into, and you know nothing about it, and having somebody that can come to you and say, are you claiming this? Have you been told about that? Have you registered for this, that and the other? Have you got this paperwork in place? That's really important.
Along with the direct help provided, the Millie Wright Children's Charity is actively campaigning to make the lives of the families of seriously ill children in hospital better, standing up for everything from better Wi-Fi in hospital and food for parents, to play at weekends and parity for haematology patients being treated in oncology departments.
Millie was love, kindness and inclusivity. She could see what was going on around her, and she could see that our family wasn't receiving the same support of others. I think Millie would be extremely proud if she's with us, watching over us, to see that we are wrapping our arms around those other families that are not receiving the same support as others.